Hey guys, so this isn't going to be your typical style of content from me, where you would normally see a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of humor when prompted. This video is not going to have any of that. In fact, I am going to be issuing a content warning for you guys prior to getting into the subject here, because what we're going to be talking about here is not only extremely sensitive and messed up, but it also hits close to home too. So earlier today, I had this post from Reddit brought to my attention, and it is captioned, YouTube/Save-a-Fox creator Mikayla Raines has taken her life in part due to online bullying. And I can't even begin to express just how incredibly sad this situation is. And let me just say this, all of us are content creators, and yeah, we may have our criticisms and our comments about other people, but it should never ever get to the point where someone is literally being harassed into unaliving themselves. And look, we all at least have something to say about one individual or several, but none of us should ever wish anything bad on that individual other than accountability if one of the things that we're saying involves criticisms of someone's words or actions. It's one thing to be critical about someone, it's one thing to want someone to be accountable, and that is what this channel is about here. That's why I do a lot of the content that I do for you guys. But if you are doing things in a way where you are trying to genuinely harm someone in a way that could drive them to the point of no return, that is just fucking messed up. Like, you are evil. You are straight up, unequivocally evil. So for those of you guys that don't know who Mikayla Raines is, she was an absolutely free-spirited, full-of-life type of individual with a smile that could brighten even the deepest and darkest of nights. Her love and dedication for the safety and well-being of animals is completely wholesome, and her love for foxes in general is also completely wholesome. And honestly, I wish I knew about her a lot sooner instead of hearing about her posthumously, because the videos and her bright personality could make anybody smile. Now, I also want to showcase a video here made by the Save a Fox channel, An Unimaginable Loss for the Rescue. I will warn you guys, this is a very, very, very tough video to watch, so I'm going to urge you guys to go into the description and watch the video on your own leisure. Make sure you guys drop off a like and a comment for support.
She had so many lofty goals and aspirations, and she would push and push until it got done. But despite all of this, she was a best friend to Freya. And every day she would teach her how to interact with respect and care for the animals here. They would go on pony rides together, swing in the fox yards, and take care of Freya's little cockroaches. The first thing Freya would want every morning is mommy. But through all of this, for her entire life, she struggled. She struggled with autism, with depression, with borderline personality disorder, and more. She was always in and out of different kinds of therapy, trying various mood stabilizers and meds, but nothing really seemed to help. Simple tasks were hard for her. Looking at her from the outside, you could never tell what was going on in her head, but even just socializing would send her over the edge. Looking at a cluttered restaurant menu would make her just want to leave. And wearing the jeans that she loved would give her so many sensory problems that it could ruin her entire day. And if you follow her personal page, she loved helping educate people about the problems that she and others faced on a daily basis. She would stay up late at night writing away about things out of her control and how she would attempt to cope with them. She made posts and discussed autism awareness so that it could be spread and help everyone understand just how difficult life can be for those on the spectrum.
Now, I wanted to share a piece of that video with you guys, just to kind of give you guys an idea, even more so, that any individual, on the outside, they may look like they're completely fine, but you don't know what goes on inside of them. I always say that everybody has a story, and you should never ever judge anyone for what is on the outside. And despite the amount of challenges that Michaela has had to deal with on a daily basis, it seems like that she didn't let those challenges hold her back from her lofty goals. She was very driven and determined, and that is honestly really heartwarming and inspirational to hear. But unfortunately, due to the harassment by a lot of these losers, that light, that fire, got snuffed out. And that man in the video that was grieving and fighting and choking back tears, that right there is just one example of the type of pain and damage that is left behind. And you multiply that with countless amounts of people, fans, friends, family, loved ones, that are all grieving of the fact that this world, as shit and as negative it is today, lost a really bright soul.
And she was so sensitive to everything, which is a double-edged sword, because on one hand, it allowed her endless empathy for those in her care, but it also means that she took everything negative to heart. And now I want to talk about how words, whether spoken in person or written online, can affect someone. For a few years, a group of people had been throwing dirt on Michaela's name and the rescue. Most of these are people she knew, and some of them are other animal sanctuaries. They consistently spread ridiculous claims and rumors, and being the sensitive human that she was, Michaela took it all to heart. And it hurt her. It hurt her a lot. But she pushed through. For years, she pushed through the pain of people trying to bring her down and the mental challenges she faced, and she still rescued hundreds of animals and changed the lives of so many. But recently, more of the rude words, accusations, and name-calling came from some of those she considered close friends. I think all of this stems from jealousy and envy. But she felt as if the entire world had turned against her. She had always battled with borderline personality disorder, causing emotional instability, as well as impulsive behaviors. But this time it went too far. She couldn't bear what she was feeling any longer. And she ended her life.
I want everyone viewing this video to remember this quote. A blow with a word strikes deeper than a blow with the sword. It's one thing to have a physical injury. You can recover from that. It's one thing to be physically hurt, but emotionally hurt, that is a whole different ballgame. And before anyone says, well, you know, getting hate, that's just a part of being an online influencer. Well, let me just say this. While that may be an automatic thing that comes with being an online influencer, that doesn't justify it in any way, shape, and form. Just because something is, doesn't mean it ought to be that way. And that's why for me, unless you are either a pedophile or an abuser, any person that I levy a criticism against, I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I want them to understand where I come from on a subject, and I hopefully would like to see them actually take accountability for something that is being called out on them and get better, because at the end of the day, that's, for me, why criticisms in my world exist, because at the end of the day, I just want to see the better out of every person, okay? But when you are actively lying, smearing, and slandering people to the point where it's just complete and utter ridiculousness, to the point where someone actually contemplates ending their life, let alone actually doing so, that right there is beyond inhuman. And people that are responsible for taking away a life with their words deserves the absolute worst karma imaginable. So to all of the people that did this to Michaela, that caused this type of pain to everyone associated with Michaela, as well as causing a bright spirit to snuff out her life, well, let me just say this. Don't come crying and bitching when karma what kicks in your front door. I'm trying to be as contained and as respectful as I can be for a video like this because the subject, it goes beyond delicate and sensitive, but man, you know, just at the same time, something like this touches every single nerve in my body. I'm not going to get into details. For those of you guys that know me personally, you guys know why a subject like this is very nervy and very, like, sentimental to me. But for those that don't, let's just say that in the aspects of mental health, I can understand what Michaela was going through to an extent. And I say to an extent because I don't have experience with sensory issues. I don't have an experience when it comes to personality disorders. I do have experience with autism. I've grown up with that since I was 4. And depression since I was 17.
And it breaks my heart that someone who is selfless and devoted her life to animals could have so much negativity pointed at her. Why? That's all I can ask is why. In a world that's filled with darkness, she was just light. She was just light. And to those of you that pushed her to this, every one of you that had been responsible for making her feel this way, I wish you had to see me find her. And I wish you had to watch me perform CPR on her for 15 minutes until the first responders arrived. And I wish you had to watch helplessly as paramedics attempted to revive her lifeless body. And I wish you had to hear the screams and the cries of her family. I wish you had to see tiny heartbroken Freya try to understand why she could never see her mommy again. I wish you understood what you were doing before you did it, before it had to go this far. And I wish you understood that words do have real and terrible consequences. If you only have negative garbage to say, just shut up.
The deeper I get into that video, the more I realize just that this right here might actually be one of the most difficult videos I've ever had to watch, and by proxy, one of the most difficult videos that I've ever had to make. But I wanted to make this because, well, for a long list of reasons, but most importantly, the reasons that come to my mind is because, number one, we are all human at the end of the day with real emotions, with real feelings, with real struggles. And number two, I wanted to spread the message that it's one thing to have your criticisms and, you know, your outright objections against what someone may say or do, but it should never, ever get to the point where somebody loses their life. So I'm going to end this video off by saying 3 different things. Number one, I want you guys to go and support the video that I had featured in this video. The link will be down in the description, like I had said. Please go give it a watch, like it, comment the support, because really and truly, those that loved Michaela truly need it right now. Number two, I want to showcase to you guys a couple of things, and I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this. So the first thing I want to showcase here would be this archive of r/SaveAFoxSnark. Now, this is a page that was dedicated to negativity and to spreading a lot of nonsense about Save a Fox and, by proxy, Mikayla Raines. Now, I want you guys to really look at this page here. Tell me what you guys see. Well, I'll tell you what I see is I see a whole bunch of blanks. We see captions of posts, but when I go to click on it, we're not seeing anything. So it's quite curious and quite peculiar why this is. And one of the possible answers that springs to mind would be the fact that this is a site that had gotten taken down, and gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because a lot of the filth and nonsense that was spread about in that page was actual bullshit. And the second thing to showcase is a screenshot that was sent to me on a Reddit page from user u/CasioLion. I'm not backing down, fuck off. You act like I went to Michaela's house, sliced her open, and left her to bleed out. All I did was put together a few sources pointing out some things she did wrong. I had no hand in bullying of any kind. Even if I did, you're no better for calling me slurs, telling me you're going to dox me, and sending me instructions on how to kill myself. You ask me if I'm proud of myself if I killed myself with the guides you sent me. Would you be proud of yourself? Get real. Now let me make this clear once again. I don't ever encourage acts of doxing, nor do I encourage someone to unalive themselves. Those are completely trashy and inhumane things to do to somebody. But you want to know something else that's trashy and inhumane to do to someone? Driving them to unaliving themselves. So I hope to people like CasioLion and all of the other shitbags out there, I hope that you guys remember this feeling, and I hope that it comes to haunt you in every single moment that you are awake and every single moment that you are asleep in your dreams to the very day that you are on your deathbed. And the third and final thing I want to say before ending the video off with the final segment of the video featured in this one is to just be kind. Kindness is free, okay? You don't have to pay anything to be kind, okay? Your kindness can be a determining factor, whether it's someone having a good day, someone having a bad day. And without getting into details, let's just say from recent events that took place a couple of months ago, let's just say that when I had kindness shone on it to me like a bright light, that right there was a game-changing experience, and it reinforced to me that, you know what? Things are going to be all right. So rather than being someone that is going to be a part of someone's eventual demise, why not be a part of someone that is going to be their shining light and their reassurance to say that, you know what, things are going to be all right, bud. Be the reason someone wants to stay around. Don't be the reason someone wants to die.
And if you are feeling lost and hopeless, please reach out to someone, whether it's friends and family or calling a hotline. And to everyone else, please keep an eye on those around you. Look for the signs because they are there. Do something or say something before it's too late. Despite this being the biggest loss of my life and feeling like I have a literal hole in my chest, I will not let Michaela's light be extinguished, and I won't let negativity win, and I won't let her mission fall apart. I am going to continue to push to rescue the remaining fur farm foxes, and after that, save as many animals as possible. But I will need your help. As long as you guys will continue to support all of us here at Save a Fox, we will keep pushing forward. I'm confident we can bring more light to this world, and we'll be doing it for Michaela. For now, we all just need some space and some privacy, but I'll soon discuss a day where everyone can come here and pay their final respects. And I'm just going to end it with, I love you, Michaela. I will always love you so much. And I miss you.